And we're back with Quorators Season 3, A New Beginning. It's your hosts, Alex and Jeremy. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jeremy.
And this is the show where we read Quora. That's the show.
That's all you have to know.
It's the Quorators. Back another week. So excited to be here. And with a fresh new beginning, coming to the show for the very first time from the world-renowned Chapa Trap House program, we have producer, music enthusiast, lover of tech. We have Chris Wade here in the studio. Chris?
Hello, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Chris, do you love tech?
I do love tech. I love gadgets. I love doohickeys. I love systems. I love processes. I love manuals. And I love chords.
Here's the thing a lot of tech guys don't know. You also have to love manuals, or you will not know how that stuff works. Chris, this is season 3 of the show. I was explaining to you before we start. We have a lot on our hands. As of 4 weeks ago, we started theming these. So not only will we be on Quora for a full hour, but we are also going to be covering this week's exciting premise, which is hard truths.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, we've all faced hard truths in our lives.
Quora is filled with them.
Yeah, Quora is mostly hard truths. Usually truths like, I don't understand your post.
Difficult questions and hard truths. What are you saying?
You sound stupid right now. Are you a baby? So, truths like that. But before we get started, I guess just basic hosting. You been on Quora before?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think everybody basically ends up on Quora, especially if you are used to trying to solve your own problems through Google. And, you started out asking, do I love gear? You have gear, you have tech stuff. I'm an editor, video editor, audio editor. You have questions. You Google the questions, try to get answers. Eventually, you're going to end up on Quora of people trying to find the same question. So I end up on Quora for like tech issues pretty often, and then from there you find the wackier, more esoteric Quora zones.
Yeah, we know the zones. I don't think anybody knows the zones quite as well as us as we approach month 15 of the Quorators podcast.
Yeah. It's us and Murder Brian, and one day we're going to have to battle him.
It's true.
With questions.
Back to Reddit with you.
Be gone.
Leave the word salad for us. I enjoyed Chris's description of Quora as a classical man's workshop.
That's right. Yeah.
It's
like those old magazines where it'd be like a guy wrestling a lobster. That's what Quora is. It's the modern equivalent.
Hey, keep all these rubber bands for yourself.
That's what the guy's saying.
Oh, speaking of classical man's men, we have actually backed ass end into our hottest new segment, the most popular one on the show, the recurring segment, Tips for Men. Tips for Men! It is a tip for lonely and sad men, and also happy men. We're not excluding any men from these.
Just for our male listeners.
I have a bunch lined up that I'm afraid of. Like, I'm afraid that we edge closer and closer every week to just being like, Alex is your father. He has a lot to tell you, and you're in trouble. And that's not what Tips for Men is about.
You're not in trouble. We love you so much.
We think that you're so talented. The things you're doing in school. But anyway, this is all to say that I am opening the floor if anybody else has any tips for men before we move on.
Do you have any tips for men, Chris?
I mean, my mind's been turning just since you brought up the segment about 30 seconds ago. Like, oh God, did I need to come prepared?
No, absolutely not.
No. Men never come prepared.
To be clear, our tips are terrible. They're not good tips.
I disagree with that.
Learn to cook.
Learn to cook is actually very good.
Yeah.
Learn to cook.
You can do it off of YouTube videos. It's pretty easy. I mean, here's my real tip for men. You can learn to do anything off of YouTube videos.
That's actually true.
I think you can learn to do anything on Quora.com.
That's also true.
It's a great reservoir of YouTube videos.
Yeah. I think, there's a little higher production value on the YouTube, and you usually get the visual aid. Whether it's learning to like properly, cut up a chicken or build a deck, it's all there on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search how to do things.
Hey, it's all knife work, man. Mm-hmm. You got to practice that kind of stuff. You're not going to just figure it out on the floor. You got to get in the kitchen. You got to cook it up. If you don't do that, you're going to die. Is that what you want?
Exactly.
That's not what anybody wants. All right. I think we're ready to start the show.
What are your guys' tips
what's
for
your
men
tip
this
for
week?
men?
Oh, my
You
tip
said
for
you
men?
got a bunch of them.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Well, I didn't want to feel like you had to have a tip for men, so I had mine as a backup. But mine was gonna be, you got to build an app.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I don't care what it is, but I need to go on my phone and see something you made because that proves you have worth in the digital world, and the digital world is where the money gets made.
True. That's the new type of building.
I will say this right now. I actually have what I think is a very good idea for an app. I'm not going to say it here because I think it's good enough that I don't actually want to put it out in the world.
We have a massive
but if anybody listening to this is an app developer of any kind of skill, get in touch because I need somebody who can actually do stuff in the mobile space.
It's funny you mentioned that.
iOS.
As I also have an idea for an app. I have tons of them, and I'm making apps all the time.
Can we hear one of your app ideas, Alex?
I can't talk about that right now. We are still in Q1 development, but this is just to say that in this couch of 3 men, we're all coming up with apps.
That's another tip for men. Yeah, as you said, come up with an app.
Come up with an app. Get in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
So the
What
first
did we
thing
do last week?
We ask a question at the end of every episode, and then we read the comment. So last week our question was, what is the difference between skanking and goose stepping?
Yeah.
Now, goose stepping, for those who don't know, is just like the march that Nazis do, right? Where they lift their leg up all the way.
That did make me feel bad when I phrased the question, and you and David both didn't know what goose stepping was.
I didn't
felt
know.
like I knew too much.
You know
about
what?
Nazis.
I was more. It's embarrassing. I only knew what skanking was.
That's that kind of mean skanking, right? That's kind of skanking bad guys do.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I think it would be funny to put out on the internet to try to incept into the emerging fandom of the band Goose. Are you guys familiar with Goose?
Goose.
There are 2 new bands that are hot in 2023 and 2024. There's Goose and there's Geese.
Okay.
But I would
hate
like
that.
to if there is a community of people who don't know what goose stepping is, if we move far enough away from the iconography of Nazi Germany, I think it would be fun to step to kind of like as a troll put out into the Goose fan community, like, yeah, goose stepping. That's the move you do in the pit at a Goose concert.
What genre of music is Goose?
They're they're a jam band.
Okay. I'm seeing if this is one where they're already skanking.
Yeah, I know. I'm here to tell you that Goose is the new fish.
Cool.
God damn, I'm so
You have to
behind
have
on
an
my animal bands.
Yeah, it's got to be an
I don't know
animal.
anything about that. Did we get any answers on this?
One guy said practice.
Okay, that's a pretty. He got us pretty good there.
Doesn't really make sense.
He walks
but I do
right into that
appreciate it.
one.
Well, he's also commenting. I think it works 2 ways because it's commenting on the kind of like ska to skinhead pipeline.
Right. I guess there is a big, the whole Nazi punk thing, but there's no Nazi ska bands out there. There's no, really right-wing, real big fish. I guess that guy was an anti-COVID guy, right?
Yeah, I think as the waves of ska went on and it became more silly coded than, like rude boy coded, it became less and less over fascist adjacent.
It's hard to demand blood and soil to that kind of music, I think.
Yes.
Sure, yeah, with a trumpet.
We have one other answer here from Glass Spider.
Yeah, he
or
wrote.
Or is it Spooder?
It's Spiider.
Okay.
He wrote.
Kind of far away.
Skanking has a much more fun soundtrack generally, unless Wagner is your jam, I guess, or whatever those marches they play in DPRK are. And this is from a listener because they wrote scrambled eggs, which is our code word.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for writing in Spider. This is great to hear from you. And again, if you must answer our questions, please use the words scrambled eggs. This way we will know you are one of us.
We won't be mean to you.
And we won't
that's
be.
That's a nice system you've got there.
Yeah.
You've got like a safety word with your listeners.
It's really embarrassing when you read a comment and you're like, this fucking idiot, and you can see his picture and he looks like a fucking loser and we hate him, and we get to the bottom, we're like, oh, it's a listener. Well, thank you so much for commenting.
Domain.
We were joking.
Yeah.
Well, it helps when you take the Chapo method of just treating all your listeners like that anyway, regardless, even if you know they're a listener or not.
That's true. It's probably smarter.
I love all of my children. that's been the theme of Tips for Men last week on Quorators so far.
Tips for adult men.
But again, the theme this week is hard truths.
That's right.
So we won't be pulling any punches from here out.
Absolutely not.
Now, the theme is hard truths, but they are broken up into the regular Quorators categories. And so we will be starting this week with our politics segment, the Quizcores. There's so much going on in in the news. This is kind of what we're tackling here with our politics discourse segment. The first one of the day, Jeremy, what do we got?
Yeah, this is a great political question. It's a hot topic issue right now. Maybe, you've heard about this in the news. The question is, do white people love cheese?
Okay. Okay.
And now the top comment on this is really good. We don't always jump into the comments this quick, but Terrence Phoenix says, what kind of racist, stupid, fucking bullshit question is that? Fucking dipshit. Of course people love
cheese. I'm so tired of the ignorance.
These stereotypes.
It's just that we do love cheese. I'm sorry. I don't know who's drawing a line on these white people cheese stereotypes. Cheese is great. I get not a lot of people can have it, and it is like passing a hot knife through your organs for 70% of humanity. But it's a great time once you get in there and live in cheese town.
If you can handle the cheese, it's really one of the top food stuffs. And I don't know. Yeah, as you were saying, as I get older, I get more and more sympathetic and empathetic to my friends, many of my Hebraically inclined friends who have the lactose intolerance. Right. It's really it's really a sorry existence, and I'm sorry that you can't experience the wonders of aged dairy product.
Something I didn't know until a few years ago is that if you stop eating cheese, your body just stops letting you have it. Yeah, you lose your tolerance.
Continue. Yeah. You need to basically maintain a micro dose of cheese at all times.
It's very similar to having alcoholism, but with the product of a cow, I think.
Doing another round where you're always trying to be like a half a block of cheese deep at all times. A steady 0.9 blood cheese level.
Cheesty Thursday.
Yeah. 0.09, yeah.
I think the most cheese heavy period of my life was COVID, where I was having box mac and cheeses around 5 times a week or so.
That's too many.
Yeah, it's just they're really easy, and it feels great eating a pound of cheese.
That's a tip for men.
Can you die if you're already dead? What are most of the comments like on here? Because I think if white people don't love cheese, I don't know who does. That's like historically we make you eat cheese. We make you eat cheese.
That's right. There's 3 answers. The one guy is the racist. The guy saying it's racist. This other guy, his dudeness, says, "Can you tame the white power struggle with cheese? You can on the Boondocks." I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
But this man has the secret to ending racism in his hands.
That's just his dude.
Fortunately, he speaks in riddles.
This is making me wonder if the whole question is like a deep joke from the Boondock show or something.
Maybe.
I don't think I would credit the Boondocks with white people loving cheese. I think white people have been just openly loving cheese.
Oh, there's also some
giving that one to Aaron.
There are some actually racist answers here.
Okay, sure.
Not surprising.
Reminder to the listener: we are still on Quora.
On Quora.com. A lot of the answers are just like, yeah, as much as other group loves this thing.
Okay. Ha ha.
Yep. Just people saying yes.
This ethnic group enjoys their target food product like this. That ethnic group enjoys their target food product like this.
One of my favorite things that you get in every Quora comment section is just swings and misses all the way down. Like this wonderful comment from Craig LB, which is, "That's not what those holes are for," which is like, what are you responding to?
He's talking about white people fucking cartoon cheese.
White people, you can't fuck the cheese. You can't put your needle dick in the tiny cheese holes.
White people love to fuck cheese.
There is indeed a Boondocks cartoon show segment called White People Love Cheese.
There it is.
Sorry to spoil the mystery of this one, but this is people relitigating 20-year-old Boondocks bits.
Yeah, this is from a week ago, this question.
I think that's their right. I think it's their right to do it.
Well, I'd like to imagining somebody who's in that target age group for the Boondocks TV show now, maybe like a 13 to 17-year-old who's like discovered it and gone back through and has reached this bit and feels like they lack the cultural context for it for some reason. And they're like, wait, what are they getting at here? Is there something about white people and and then having to go and like research it?
Mm-hmm.
I know who to share this with. My friends on Quora.
The Quora community.
So they can get stuff like a nobody who says, heard of pizza? There are some who take it without cheese, but a very small number. And he lives in Ireland, 1956 to present.
Thank you, hey nobody. You studied at the University of Ulster at Jordanstown.
That's a fine school.
I wonder how the pizza places in Ulster are.
I can't imagine they're great.
We cannot get into that kind of racial politics here on the show, Chris.
On his bio, it says, knows about Ireland, parentheses, island.
Yeah, we know.
We're not talking about the country.
That's
the
right.
People. We're just talking about the geographic formulation, or the geographic entity of Ireland. You can ask me about the coasts, mountain ranges, precipitation.
It must be unified.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, hey nobody.
For whatever reason, I got thinking about the ubiquity of certain foods across the world at this point, and I was in a kick where I was going and reading reviews of pizza restaurants in places like Afghanistan and Kuala Lumpur and stuff like that, Ulaanbaatar, places where it seems like it would take the furthest cultural penetration to get a pizza by the slice place,
right?
And there's a lot of very normal ones. It's like, this pizza here is great. But then I found a really good one in Kabul where two pizza places were obviously in a review war where one person was leaving a bunch of comments on the other one's Yelp about how rat infested, Muhammad's pizza joint is or whatever.
Your pizza is not for the dregs. I'm curious at what the pizzas look like around the world, because I've gone to Japan and I've looked at their pizza and it does not look like our pizza. It's like a different food that we get.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's fascinating about tracking down these culturally, these ubiquitous foodstuffs, is that in a lot of places, pizza is present, but it's very clearly like they've seen a picture of a pizza, like Google image search pizza,
and then you start riffing.
Okay, now how do I make it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could improvise.
But it's all garlic.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have to keep this in mind. I piled in a ton of questions.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do another question. Here's a question. This is in our politics segment. Why do Democrats think they're God?
But why?
Why?
But why did they think they're
These are
God?
hard truths.
When was this posted? I'm trying to think about what this might be directly in response to. Is this in the last week, and it's about Chuck Schumer trying to ban Zinn?
It looks like it's January 21st is when this was posted.
Year?
Yeah.
So it's not like red wave.
No.
Blowback.
This is about Joe Biden saying on the news, you ever have a beer?
You think you created the sea. This is the inherent fun of this website, is you can't go on and just rant Democrats think they're God. You got to make it a question to interact.
Let's phrase it in the form of a question, right?
Why did they think they're God? What is our best guess on why these Democrats think they're God? Is it just because they're made in his image? This is also a fairly religious show. I'm not sure if that's coming across.
This is the hardline fundamentalist review of Quora. Why do these Democrats keep on blaspheming?
We're 3 weeks out of the Catholicism episode.
I mean, to take it a little seriously, I mean, I think it is a hardcore point of liberalism right now, is that you have to feel that there is a moral superiority for your position in a lot of things, and that especially goes for the things that you feel like you can't actually get done, because at least you can reside in the fact that you are better than everybody else because you are good and correct.
Yeah, I think that's the side they've taken.
Is more about pure domination.
Yeah. It's the aspect of the culture war that's just I told you not to do this versus I don't care if you told me not to do this.
I told you it would be bad if we did this versus fuck you, I do what I want.
I put razor blades even though the Supreme Court told me not to. I hate you guys.
These are all very good answers, but all of the answers on Quora are just like, because they're Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Because they love Satan.
Which is why we could do a third part of our Hitler series.
No, we can't.
Oh, did you do one that's just all Hitler questions?
We've done two. The thing is, we will never run out, but it does get samey after a while.
Yeah. But we've learned that Hitler is not gay and has Riz.
And he's not black.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it is pretty undeniable that Hitler had Riz.
He did.
This is what we were saying.
Yeah. But
if that guy doesn't have it.
You don't get in that position without a little bit of it.
You need to have a little bit of Riz.
Hey, we're back on Hitler.
That is not a moral judgment. That is just a statement of fact.
Riz is neutral.
Yes, it is neutral. It can be used for good or evil. It's like the Force.
This is going to come up every week from now on.
We're just going to hell and be like, what's your body count, Hitler?
Yes. Did Hitler have Riz, the world's greatest forum argument locked after Quorators episodes?
Under response to why do Democrats think they're God question, TG says, do you own a TV? Have you not seen the ads where they claim that Trump, a.k.a. red-faced traitor, is ordained by God? And then all caps, give me a break. So this is the other fun part of the website, is it's not just like, you'd think it's going to be all like MAGA grandpas, but there is like a powerful resistance contingent that is at war with them.
Well, I think that makes sense because, like Wikipedia, Quora has even sillier than Wikipedia, but similarly has a veneer of like a repository of real knowledge. And I think that will draw people who feel that they are knowledgeable, which I think is like whether they actually are or not is lib coded,
Yeah. And a good example of that.
Well informed or whatever,
A good example of that, and I don't think we're going to get into this today, but this is the number one website I've found for information on banishing a spirit or demon.
That's right.
Or summoning one to attack your foes.
You are looking for this information.
I'm looking for it to hide it so that it doesn't get out. Because you cannot trust these spirits once they are set loose in our world. We have like 10 questions in the doc right now that are all about witches.
That's right.
I mean, you guys would know better. Is there like a moderating like element of Quora? Because I would love to be like a dedicated Quora mod who goes through questions like this and just goes to people like that who are saying, give me a break, and being like, non-informative response. This is deleted.
I don't think the individual posts have moderators, but the spaces have moderators.
Yeah.
And the spaces work differently from Reddit, where you essentially enter someone's personal domain where anything they say goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
that sounds cool. I'm glad that exists. We need spaces. We need spaces like that too, where people can build their mind palaces in on a web platform. But we need outlets like that, or else people will go crazy.
Where is this one? Is this one on a specific space?
No, this is just on Quora.com.
This is just front page, baby.
This guy TG, by the way, the guy you read, I looked through his comments, and he talks about Trump in pretty much every comment, and he always does lowercase t, capital R for some reason. Is that a thing?
Lowercase.
It's
because he's low T.
Is that what it is? You think
Sorry,
it's because he's low T?
He's got a great head of hair. And his tiny hands. He's low T Trump. You capitalize the R now. Or more offensive, they're calling him the R.
I think this guy's pro-Trump, though.
Him. No, give me a break.
I don't know.
Give me a break.
I think you could do like a reciprocal, is that the word I'm thinking of? An inceptive Quora, where you just post Quora questions that I was like, why does this specific user you spell Trump lowercase t capital R every
I could
single
just
time
ask
they
him.
mention him?
Yeah, you can take that directly to the source, though.
This is from a few days
It's
ago.
really easy.
Well,
It's like Facebook in a way.
I mean, I think it would be funnier if you, kind of named him and shamed him on the main page.
See, he's gonna have us blocked and muted, though, and then we're not gonna be able to see his wonderful
I commented.
posts.
I will find out. He just wrote about Trump 2 hours ago.
I'm getting blocked and muted left and right on here. We're not going to be able to see any of Orson Scott Card's products to keep this up.
Does Orson Scott Card?
Orson Scott Card
He's
and
on here
Jordan
every
Peterson
day!
are the two that are on Quora.
Jordan Peterson launched his career from Quora.
Yeah, he is a Quora
Does
original.
Peterson still Quora?
I think so.
I don't think so. I
No?
think he's evolved beyond. I've looked into it to find
He's
his
become
funny
too
posts,
powerful.
and all of his engagements very old.
But Orson Scott Card's on there like every day though.
Yeah, he's
amazing.
answering
Good for
questions that
him.
are just like, "Am I gay if my girlfriend likes my best friend?" And he's like,
He's like, imagine two boys wrestling in a shower.
"They're geniuses, so it's like they're adults."
They get themselves all soapy first for strategy, for war.
Yeah, but anyway, he answers like 3 of these an hour.
Great. Well, he's a man in his 70s. I'm glad he has a hobby.
Dream
right.
guest.
Keeping him busy, keeping him engaged.
Orson, come on the podcast.
He honestly seems like just by being a Quora, he has a better relationship with social media than most of the like boomers I know.
Certainly better than like a Scott Adams type. Although Scott Adams seems like a guy who would be on Quora. It is important for him to seem smart, and I think that again a good way to do that is just be answering questions all the time. Are you right? Are you wrong with your answers? It doesn't matter. I'm just answering questions. That is displaying my intelligence.
Here's a hard truth: if we search Scott Adams, is he on Quora?
I don't know. Yeah.
Slam that button. We've typed it in.
Scott Adams.
Does that not seem like a?
He has 10,000 followers, but he hasn't commented in 7 years.
Come on.
But
That's money on the table,
I'm
Scott.
gonna give him a follow.
Yeah, see if he has a comeback.
He's answered 68 questions.
Okay, that could be an episode. We might be doing Scott Adams episode. It's a pretty good idea.
Dilbert
Well,
week.
I think that's funny that Scott Adams, the end of his Quora career corresponds pretty much neatly with the Trump election, because I feel like he just shifted that energy over to becoming like a hardcore. It's hard to, because he's not like MAGA, but he is just like so deeply in that like just asking questions conservatism, that is very like, kind of like the Elon Musk style, like, I'm against elites, even though I'm like the richest man in the world.
See, here's the thing: is the loony left would never understand this, but when you successfully take power, you don't need to be on Quora anymore.
That's right.
You're out of Quora and into the White House.
But see, here's the thing: the loony left wouldn't understand the world of pure reason and logic that I inhabit, because they think they're God. They exist in a world of deific fantasy.
And I'm typing this, of course, from my throne, which looks like Dilbert's head in my backyard.
Yes.
Inside of my house, which also looks like Dilbert's head.
Wouldn't it be funny if he got like a surgery that made his head look like Dilbert's head?
He's like 75 years old, but he has just like a 40-year-old's face sewn on.
Yeah.
You have to talk about other stuff with him.
I love his Dilbert castle.
We're saving it for the Scott Adams episode.
I actually do have some for our bonus
I'm
this
giving
week.
you guys a theme.
I'm so excited. I'm excited for Scott Adams.
All right,
By the
let's
way,
do another question.
we're going on other websites on patreon.com/Quorators every
Yes.
Thursday. Check it out.
Check it out. Okay, this next segment is our religion segment, Corbin and Fruit. So,
Ooh.
what is that button? Nope, that's the police one.
They're right next to each other.
Okay, let me see. This question is, without the reaping of spiritual fruit, can any atheist truly obtain inner peace?
Now, this is a hard truth.
What does that mean?
This is deep. Without the reaping of spiritual fruit, can any atheist experience inner peace? Is
Truly obtain inner peace.
Classic
We're talking no
thesaurus.
spiritual fruit.
Thesaurus brain, Quora users.
I mean, look, I think there's a lot you can get into here. Taking it fairly seriously, like, is being atheist mean that you have abandoned any element of the spiritual?
Now that you have
to
slain
believe
the
in God
Father.
to believe in human spirit. And,
Yeah.
And if you believe in human spirit, can you not reap spiritual fruit?
Well, I think without the fruit, it's pretty hard to taste it. I'd say that. I'm pretty confident in saying that.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I don't care about your feelings.
But can you be an atheist if you're a Democrat and therefore believe you are God?
Okay. All right. So this is actually a fine rebuttal, Jeremy. Is that
Thank
with
you.
the cult of self, you can eat your own fruit, and then you don't need this pitiful
the
God.
worship of yourself is basically your auto fruit eating. You're eating your own fruit.
You become your own
nasty.
fruit. You become the fig tree of the self.
Yeah, this is a judgment-free zone, but eating your own fruit, that's nasty.
Yum yum. Yum yum yum.
Oh, baby!
Thanks, Wario.
Wario's a lot of videos on religion.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess the comment section for this one is not fun. Is that correct?
I can't imagine this is a...
I think this is also... Okay, this is another way that Quora is like actually a good website for you to use, is if you are like a theological scholar. This is where all of them are.
Yeah, well, it's mostly Christian baby questions, but this one, I don't know. I'm trying to go to the answers that need improvement. One guy says, what utter bollocks?
Yeah, I would say it's bollocks.
Well, that's
the
what we
fuck?
said.
He says...
I'm putting on my Quora mod hat and just deleting that comment.
Well, you will...
To the discourse.
You'll be happy to find that this answer was hidden.
I'm deleted.
This answer was hidden under answers that need improvement. So the Quora mods may have gotten to it.
He says, what utter bollocks? And then he says, what the fuck is spiritual fruit?
Also,
which is good to make sure we're all on the same page with that.
I think this question desperately needs a defining of terms.
It needs a parenthetical right after spiritual fruit, from which we all understand. I mean,
but everyone is British on this one. Steve Winterberg says, "Blimey, yes. Take all the religious freakery out of your head, and peace reigns."
John Rebsch says they have inner peace up the yang yang.
I'm
That's
sorry.
true.
I don't think anybody who uses the phrase "up the yang yangs" has experienced inner peace.
Up the yang yang is the most dangerous subcommittee of the IRA. Okay. Then there's like 4 paragraph long answers that are by like Reverend Stephen Brown.
See,
I was Jennifer.
I was thinking that this also feels like it would be a great outlet if you were like a bored priest. You get to just like check the dipstick of like what the average knucklehead is spiritual questions are, and then you can synthesize that in your mind of being like, okay, now what does a normie need in terms of spiritual guidance, and then you can just hop back on.
This was like the best version of First Reformed, where instead of like killing himself for climate change, he's just on Quora. Will God forgive us?
No, we have destroyed his garden. Yeah, the triangulation of who uses this website as of this episode, recent update, is starting with cops, which is the #1 most frequent poster that we come across.
Police officers.
Reporting on ghosts they have seen.
Republican authors. Paul Schrader characters.
Priests.
Yes.
And witches.
And witches.
And any combination thereof.
The Paul Schrader characters, priests, cops, perverts.
Yeah, those are all of them.
The average like Quora user.
Why is New York City so covered in filth?
All right, so we have
will real rain come?
We had an answer from one guy directly addressing the question asker, which I always really respect because it is hard to find who wrote the question.
That's right. That's right.
You have to like go to the search bar and leave the page.
Yeah, the question asker is someone named Jennifer. That's all I've found.
Little Jennifer wants to know about spiritual fruit.
Jennifer Vrahatis is her name. She's a neurophysiologist at a PhD at something.
See, that changes the context of something that when I initially heard the question, it has the it seemed like something that was like a religious person asking on behalf of atheists they know. Knowing that she's a neuroscientist PhD, it kind of seems like more like it might be like, oh, am I gonna find inner peace? Like if I'm an atheist.
Here's another twist. On her bio, it's she says the majority of our problems stem from libtards and athetards.
Athetards are the source of much of sin.
I've never heard that before.
This sounds like I would like to know more about this person's ideology.
Me too.
Athetards is so funny because there's so many good words for like secular demons you could already use. You don't need to start jamming up new ones.
I mean, I've been playing in the the conservative versus liberal discourse space for a long time, and I have to say I have never heard that one.
She asks a lot of questions. I'm gonna read some. One is Joe Biden's contempt for Obama due to his reasoning that Obama will never be white?
Okay.
Wow.
Is it?
This is what's going on at grad school, by the way.
Do atheists know that God does not wish them to be frightened of him?
It's like she's getting paid by God to kind of do PR.
Oh, she's got such a clap back over here. She's asked, what if Joe Biden married Obama? Wouldn't that be the cleverest way of all for Barack to return to the White House?
Now we're on to something.
That would be the cleverest way of all.
That would
But,
be.
you know, if Barack Obama became, you know, the first spouse does not hold any official positions, he would have to do like one of those, you know, how every like first spouse has like their own initiative. You know, Michelle was doing like health. Melania, one of my favorite, like, you know, Trump B-side things, Melania's initiative of Be Best. You guys remember Be Best?
Of course.
I believe it was anti-bullying.
That had such an impact on me.
Yeah.
As a
I'm
bully
just trying to think of
myself.
like what like spousal cause Barack Obama gay married to Biden would have. And I don't know, it'd be like, read a book.
I'm doubling down on vegetables.
Yes. Curate your Spotify playlist.
You got to watch the best movies.
I'm listening to more SZA this year.
I'm considering from like you know how in Battlestar Galactica how you know the entire presidential cabinet dies except for the minister of education, then she becomes president. How many people have to die for gay Barack Obama to become president?
He's not, the spouse is not in the line of succession.
Not yet.
What would have to happen? He could pull Woodrow Wilson, which honestly would not be impossible with Biden at his state. And Biden goes into a coma, and he's not deposed, but it's too difficult to figure out what's going on. So it's kind of like his spouse is
right
ruling on his behalf. Like, yeah,
who's pulling the strings?
Like
Former President Gay Obama.
Gay Barack Obama.
That is a real genius level political maneuvering, and I respect Jennifer for conceiving it.
Mm-hmm. But the real guy pulling the strings is that guy who said he fucked Obama in college.
Oh yes, dude. He's playing the longest game.
Behind every powerful man's powerful man is a third powerful gay man
who doesn't even really want any credit for it or anything. He just wants to comment on it later on Tucker Carlson.
Can I just read two more questions from this woman real quick?
Yes, and then we must move on.
Okay, just I like these two next to each other. The first one being, did Obama pick pedo Joey for his Veep as a subtle dig against the white man? And then, can a person differentiate human from canine bowel movement by taste alone?
I'm gonna say yes.
It's very funny. All the other ones are very much in a specific pocket of this person like teasing out their political religious ideology, and then that one is like, this happened to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I ate some shit.
She ate some
and
shit.
And I need to make
like,
sure it's the right kind.
This might have been dog.
I mean, what goes in is what comes out, right? So you got to consider it from that angle.
Sure, if it tastes like kibble.
Yeah, if the dog is eating all human food, that could be anybody's.
That's hard. That's going to be tricky.
But it's going to take a while for that to kick in. We'll save that one. We'll come back to that one.
All
right. Are there any answers on that one?
There's 3 on that one.
Okay, just pull it up. New question. Can a person differentiate human from canine bowel movement by taste alone?
See. What kind of sick question is that?
Yeah, okay.
Not helpful. Deleted.
Delete it.
Would
Down
you, really,
vote.
would you really want to know to do the taste test with feces? The chance of infection would be high, and doing it would be at the height of stupidity. So that's also not helpful because
dare ye open the door?
It's too late. She already ate it. And then Bob Clark says exactly what we said, which was, I don't know of anyone that perverted, but I would imagine diet has a lot to do with it, and the taste and smell would both be helpful in the differentiation.
If they swap foods, it's the same.
That's right.
That's right.
It's really got me thinking that it would either be a strongly yes or completely impossible.
My favorite. Okay, so this happens sometimes with the questions where you go to the answers and then there's somebody's like, "Huh, not sure."
Couldn't tell you.
Why'd you type anything? You don't know. Okay, well, I don't know how we ended up there, but
Let's go on to our segment, Forbidden Knowledge.
we're in Forbidden Knowledge now. We're
Okay, great.
pushing the unknown.
Forbidden Knowledge is a real segment of Quora. It's Quora.com/Forbidden Knowledge, which we just think is funny that they think it's forbidden, but you can write it on Quora. So these are questions that we think fit in that category. This question is, can you smoke weed out of a toaster? I don't know.
This is a hard truth.
Yeah, I mean, you could figure out a way.
Yeah.
You would have to rig it up.
What are you going to do? You going to suck it out of the toaster? That's how you're living your life?
Yeah, I guess.
Sucking weed out the top of a toaster all
You
of a
could
sudden?
time it so it goes like ding, and then the smoke comes up.
Hold on.
It's ready.
My weed
I'm-
toast is ready.
I'm thinking of making like rigging like a vaporizing chamber inside a toaster oven. You know, like maybe if you made like an aluminum foil sphere and put the weed inside of it and then had like a tube coming out through the door, you could heat it up. Does this make sense?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, listen, hear him out. He's a tech guy.
This man loves gear.
He's about to
I
crack
guess
it.
my answer is with enough perseverance and ingenuity, you can smoke weed out of basically anything.
I think that's true.
You can do anything. You are your own spiritual fruit.
That's right. You are God.
Yes.
We have become the Lord.
If you are a registered Democrat, you are God.
You would never be able to tell if you're having a stroke if you're smoking weed out of the weed toaster. Out of what I can only assume is toast nuggets made of weed that you
Sure.
put in there.
Yeah.
That alone's gonna take all day. But I don't think not a normal toaster. You'd have to make a new invention. Can we agree on that?
Sure.
You'd
I think
have
so.
to mod a toaster at
Yeah.
least.
Heavy modding.
Heavy modding.
The answer is heavy modding.
The answers say like no. Oh, this guy says no, you can't. You're just wasting it. Nothing to keep the weed from falling right through the crumb tray, which I guess
This
is
guy's
true.
not thinking hard enough.
But yeah.
Get rid of the crumb tray.
And then he
Yeah.
says, sorry, Canadian flag. But that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I've smoked for over 50 years.
What does the Canadian flag mean in this
I wonder if this is a Canadian question.
Is Canadian flag the user?
The user who asked it is someone named the chef, who loves trying
That
new
adds
recipes.
a lot of context. He's in the kitchen a lot. He's trying to figure out how to cook and smoke at the same time. He's looking at the implements at his disposal. He's like, look, I'm toasting shit all the time. If I could just get smoke out of the toaster, I'd be killing two birds with one stone.
We have reason to believe this could be Raekwon.
This man is the chef. His bio says, I love to try new recipes, exotic dish designs. And then his pinned answer to his profile is something about how trans women aren't women. So I don't know what this website
There are
is.
some things that cannot be cooked up.
That recipe is too powerful.
Okay.
I feel like, I mean, this seems like even within this episode, is that a kind of constant thread for the Quora show for Quorators is that you go to somebody's profile and you're like, yep, normal, yep.
It pops
Oh,
up.
Come on, man.
This man lives in Hollywood, apparently, too.
The pattern is there. It's that they don't get like the same culture wars you're on. Like they don't have like the Twitter trans culture war. It's like 2014
No,
in
yeah.
here still.
Yeah.
So it's kind of mixed up that way. But
They're still talking about Joe Biden as a gay Veep.
they're mostly interrogating his vice presidential.
Yeah. They don't even know yet.
Just wait till they get it. I am no closer to knowing what the Canadian flag sign
No,
means.
I don't know why.
He doesn't appear to be in Canada.
No, he lives in L.A.
Is it a flat? This is too much.
People are mad about
Never mind.
this question. One guy says, are you fucking nuts? One guy says, you sound like a moron.
Come on.
People
It's a weed question.
come play in my imagination.
I
with
know.
me. You know, like roll up your sleeves and try to figure this out. Why are you on Quora looking at questions if you won't even consider the possibility that there's an answer? You know,
Yeah, these are
Makes me
people who
sick.
are not here for fun. They're here for
Yes.
research.
if I am logging on to Quora.com recreationally, I'm there to solve a problem.
Yes.
Be part of the solution, Quora.com.
Yes.
Be part of the solution. Yeah. I want to MacGyver my fucking toaster.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough of that
I guess you
question.
probably shouldn't put aluminum foil in the toaster with the, exposed heating elements. I don't know.
We're not telling you to do anything.
Hit the tips for men button on that one. Next time you smoke weed, try to get out of your toaster with a knife.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Good. Okay, let's read another question because we have too many left.
Okay.
This one is this is a hard truth. Can I share my bread with Jesus Christ? Can I share my bed with my brothers? Now this is inspired by the movie The Iron Claw, I think.
They do. They share rooms.
They do.
They share rooms.
Can I?
We saw it together.
You have two brothers.
I have two brothers. I have shared a bed with my brothers.
Have
Granted,
you?
I was like 4, but you could do it.
I have 0 siblings, so this is unfamiliar territory to me, but I assume yes. I guess the question is there I feel like this is probably different for brothers rather than sisters. Is there an age where it becomes weird to share your bed with a brother?
It's not so much weird so much as you want your own damn bed.
That's true.
Get out of my
yes.
bed. You know how you can share a bed with a wife or a girlfriend? It's that, but it's a brother.
Right. So there's less affection.
There's less affection. It's like, you're kicking me, stop kicking me, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Comes up.
Yeah.
Those are my covers. And then also punching can happen.
Punching.
Punching can happen
Oh,
with brothers.
no.
With brothers, punching can happen. And that's
So
a
scary.
hard truth.
I have only a sister.
Wow. So you have nowhere to chime in here.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm the expert, and I say yes.
You're a brother expert.
I'm a man of brothers.
My sister, I mean, I think also as a young child, when I was like 4, I probably shared a bed with my sister. So I'm a brother to her. So there you go.
Absolutely,
That's
you
true.
are.
And that's the math
I
on
mean,
that.
would it be weird to ask, would you share a bed with your sister?
And now? Absolutely
extreme
not.
Circumstances, like you needed to you're
Sure.
stranded somewhere, needed to share a motel room or something.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's one of the most common questions on Quora.
Yeah, there's actually a whole community about whether or not you have to do that. And there's no clothes.
This is so funny too. I'm realizing because you could just be a European of any age, and
Right.
the answer is yes. It's just all Americans be like, I need at least 5 feet of cloth
Right. It's
before
like,
my kin is discovered.
it's like the Seinfeld episode where they don't sit next to each other in the movie theater because it's gay.
Yeah. People will think we're brothers. How do people react to this? Do they love it?
Sethi says, who knows Spanish, says, well, I would have said yes a few years ago, but on one occasion, several friends and I went on vacation, including my best friend and her brother.
Okay.
We had specifically requested 2 beds per room, but there was no availability for 1 room. After insisting, we convinced my best friend and her brother to take that room. I won't make it too long. I'll just say that a couple of days later, they were very affectionate and spent less and less time with us and more in the room. A couple of months later, my friend told me she was going to have a child. I bet you can guess who the father of that child is.
Sleeping in a bed with your brother. Not even
Not
once.
even once.
Not even once.
Oh no! I guess we learned no. You should not sleep with your brother. Sleep
It's
in a bed with your
too
brother.
tempting.
You're going to get pregnant. Is that what you want? It's too convenient and cheap.
That has 900 upvotes.
Okay, well, I don't want to buck the trend.
Jim
there.
Vargas says, it is sad and unfortunate that they were that irresponsible. Should we just move on to another question? We have so many left.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, let's do core romance.
I think that response is has taken it to its furthest
Yeah.
possible extreme pretty immediately.
Everyone consider in silence what they're talking about for the rest of the podcast. We're on to Quo Romance.
the romance segment.
Kind of a perfect segue, really,
That's right. That's right. Who
into
would have
the
thought?
romance segment.
This question is an 18-year age gap too big? I'm 22 years old, female, and he is 40 years old.
Okay, so this is one of the ones we've chosen for the answer and not the question.
Okay, so this is from Mill Creek, who's former military. He says,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, Mr. Mill. 1986 to 2006, so he was in there a while.
He got stuck.
He got stuck. He says, age in this case is not important. What is important is if he checks the right boxes. As a young woman with preferably a low body count, you should be looking for several things in this if this will be your lifelong relationship. Is he relatively wealthy? IOW, what is that? Has he spent the last 20 years talking talking care of business so he can care for you. And
You're reading that correctly.
Him. Is he healthy? Does he take care of his body? Does he work out? Will he be around to take care of you and the babies? Is he potentially Learhall?
That's supposed to be lethal. Is he
Lethal?
potentially lethal?
Is he potentially lethal?
Kate, that's the first question you should ask about dating anyone at any age. Is this partner potentially lethal?
That's right.
You misunderstand. He means it in a good way.
He says, can he protect you and your babies if it came down to it?
Oh, it's in that. Would he kill for you?
Can he kill? Or is he
Well, I guess,
Liam Neeson?
So you can do
Taken?
that twice. It's like early filtering for potential partners is like, would he kill me? Would he kill for me?
Right. The two qualities of a husband.
No, yes.
My ideal partner, 22 years older than me, rich, eccentric, lethal.
His next,
Very dangerous.
Body is a weapon.
his next point is he says, is he alpha? Will he lead you and not simp to you? Will he take charge and be a decisive businessman, lover, husband, father,
Somebody
and
who was
leader?
in the military for 20 years from 1986 to 2006 saying, will he not simp for you? I'm sorry, your brain is cooked.
There's no
Simp for me.
This person is if his bio is real, this person is grandpa age, and he's like, now young, when you're considering a spouse, you have to ask, will he simp for you?
Well, it's time to go to Mill Creek's bio.
Are you not a thought?
Cobra gang.
Mill Creek's bio says male, het, dom, wife lover, bull, a little on the rough side, child of the 70s, dabble at writing erotica.
I can see that.
This guy is like a 70-year-old reactionary swinger.
I think he's lying about being in the military.
He's a dominant swinger.
Yeah.
He said he was in the military in 1986. I guess if he was like born in the 60s, he'd be a child of the 70s and could be in the military
Child
in the 80s.
of the 70s, yeah.
It's possible. It just may be a lie.
Yeah. A lot
I
of
don't
his
know
answers
why
are
you
about
would lie about
spanking.
something like that. In the military, spanking is one of the harshest punishments.
That's what
you can
happens.
receive.
Discipline.
If you disobey your sergeant,
You've been very bad.
you've been downright treasonous.
I was discharged from being a bad boy.
Also, the picture is not a 70-year-old man.
No, but I think
So-
it's also a cartoon.
Yeah, so if he's anything like this cool cartoon, he's actually really cool and
Actually, quite
we're cooked.
epic.
So that's something to consider. Anyway, the answer isn't done yet.
Oh, yeah, he keeps going. Finally, if he is all that, what do you bring into the relationship? Are you going to be a faithful wife so we can go out into the world and dominate, not having to spend time and energy worrying about the home? Will you maintain your hotness to keep him sexually involved? And that's it.
And that's the end.
That's
That
the end
leaves
of
you
it.
on a cliffhanger. He probably has so many apps.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's pretty bad advice. That's advice if you want to go insane thinking about gender in your relationship for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I guess my question, and maybe I don't understand the use of the word, but you're supposed to simp for your wife, right? Is simping just being in love? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Do you vow to simp for her sickness and health, in good times and bad?
Are you totally cucked out for this woman?
Do you vow to put the cat heart eyes emoji on her Instagram photos?
Every Instagram photo.
Hey, I'm your priest. I have a lot of Instagram-based questions, and we will be on our way.
Oh yeah, are there any priests responding to this one?
I don't know. There's one answer on this guy's comment who is thanking him and says, I'm the one, in my case, I'm the one who is 40 and is worried, and I'm worried. So he's saying, like, thank you for reassuring me.
These children are getting wise.
I am lethal.
She's going to stop being hot. I can tell. Not soon.
I like the idea of being like a 40-year-old guy dating a 22-year-old. Obviously big age gap, but hey, at least she's out of college.
That's right.
At that point,
Someone needs to spank
where he like reads this advice and goes back to her and is like, actually, I actually really care for this person, and I want to make this work, and going back and being like, I want to make it clear that I would kill. I could drop that.
I will
just say
protect
the
our
word,
babies.
and I will murder for you.
Been practicing my stab.
It's like, priority one, displaying lethality. Follow-up question. If I want to display lethality to my 18-year-old younger girlfriend, should I just kill in front of her?
I think so, yeah.
So she knows that I have it in me. Would that draw her close?
That's actually the app I'm working on. Is I hook you up with someone who's looking to die, and then you can kill him in front of your partner, so she knows you're lethal.
Alpha qualities.
Exactly.
I think I saw that on Men's Fitness.
Yeah, so it's actually helpful for men who want to look alpha to their 22-year-old girlfriends, and it's helpful to people who are just looking to be killed.
Just fucking over it.
Yeah, we're just done.
I'll never find a wife 22 years younger than me. Just looking to be murdered in the street.
You're matching girls or matching guys starting their relationship with somebody 18 years younger with people who just got dumped by their 18 years younger girlfriends.
Yes.
It's over for me now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Anyway, my app is called Lethal with no vowels.
Check it out. Also, good luck spelling that.
Okay, let's go to another question. This is Quora MD, our medical questions. This is something that comes up a lot on
I think it's this one. Yep.
Yeah, there
Nailed
it is. This is a topic that is on Quora a lot, and we do find it often. But the question is, if I wear diapers, am I an adult baby?
Adult babies.
I think you can be if you want to be.
Well,
It sounds like that's what you're going for.
on the clause, if I wear diapers, I don't think wearing a diaper makes you an adult baby.
I think that's in here.
Yeah, you got to just be an adult baby.
Yes, I feel like adult baby has very specific connotations. That one that you have to choose the lifestyle.
The media's gone wild with
necessity. Yeah.
You know what? I think we're not qualified to answer this because there's an answer on the top that is from the Quora community news : diaper lovers tonight. And they probably know better than we do. And this guy, Tim Harold, who has his full name on here, says, simply wearing a diaper does not immediately make you an adult baby. It depends on your level of desire. I enjoy wearing diapers, covers, and onesies when I can, as I get a great sense of security and comfort from them, especially on weekends. I also like to collect covers and try different diapers. It's like a hobby. I enjoy diapers. I do not regress or have any desire to waddle around or play with toys or use pacifiers or bibs. So I don't need or want to act like an adult baby. Thank you, Tim Harold.
Wow, I like the idea of being, and I'm sure that these people exist, like kind of fetishist vigilantes who spend their free time like going to various Quora questions with the specific goal of setting the record straight.
Yes.
Those in glass diapers.
I don't want misinformation about the adult baby or adult diaper wearer community out there. 4 or 5 p.m. on a Sunday, putting in 3-4 hours on Quora, just making sure that the right info is out there about being an adult baby. Who is not, who qualifies, who doesn't.
That's right. Not all diaper lovers.
Correct the record.
Not all diaper lovers are adult bays, but I feel like most adult babies are
probably
lovers.
diaper lovers. That's true.
Square in a rectangle situation.
Yeah.
News : diaper lovers tonight is a funny sub-Quora.
It makes it sound like a show.
I know. The pinned question is, do gamers wear diapers and why? Are some gamers diaper lovers?
Yeah, who mods this space? John Oliver? Come on, folks.
Not all diaper lovers are adult babies.
We wear onesies. We got bibs.
I would love a full John Oliver segment. Tonight on tonight's show, we look into adult babies.
That's right. I'm wearing a diaper.
Yes.
You'd think that'd be a button I have, but it's not.
It's not a button. Alex just has to do the voice.
And I'm not getting any more.
You need to send this sub-Quora to Brace Belden, who has been teasing the adult baby episode of True Anon for years now.
Very exciting. Well, I hope this breaks him through to the other side.
Yeah,
it seems like a rich vein of content.
They're all over Quora, the adult babies and the diaper lovers. We found one recently where someone wrote their like address, and we read it on our podcast, and they said like, come to this room in this college and you'll find me in a diaper. And I don't know if any of our listeners went, but people did say they lived nearby.
I mean, if that's true, that means that this person temporally is stuck in the room.
That's right.
And will be there at any time.
On account of they are a baby.
And you gotta love them.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I hope we've all learned something today.
Should we call it there? Do you want to read any more, Alex?
We have a bunch more.
Hit me with one more.
Okay, let's see. Which one do you like?
The last one is, I
Okay.
think, the one we have to read.
Okay, yes, that's right. This is.
I did not look at the answers for this. Maybe it will be disappointing, but the question.
This is our final question. Can you tell me the hard, dark truth?
That's it.
That's the whole question.
That's the question. Can
you tell me the hard,
I've been
dark
doing
truth?
it for over an hour. Well, the cat lover answered.
Cat lover says you're gonna die one day.
I mean,
It's not wrong.
that really is. I mean, that's a pretty good. Honestly, that's a pretty good answer to that question. That's about like when you drill down to the entirety of the human experience and all of consciousness and searching and the man's historical quest to find his place in the universe. It really does come down to one thing, and that's we're all going to die, and everything else is just coping with that.
Yeah, it goes on for a while too. It's like everyone you love is gonna die. They're all gonna be in the
No,
void.
they didn't need to do any more. Just like just that one.
That's
You're gonna
just
die
cat
someday.
lover.
That's
That
the
was
answer.
a choice cat lover made.
Most of the answers are about how you're gonna die one day.
Oh, what about this one? By Alchemist or
You are your own enemy.
Alcolonist.
Your shadow shelves are the parts of you that at some
There we
point
go.
you are conditioned to believe were not okay. So you suppress them and have done everything in your power not to acknowledge them. The shadow selves.
You don't actually.
like a Metal
dislike
Gear
these parts
thing.
of yourself.
Sorry.
no.
I-
It keeps going for a while.
It's pretty long.
Please, the Alchemist. Let's get into some Jungian forms.
He does
on
say this. He does say it was Carl Jung who said it first. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves.
Without reading the whole thing, I will tell you paragraph 2 does start with ergo.
Yes, that's true.
What else do you need to know? That's a pretty dark truth. I don't think it's as dark as the dying. Like, if I didn't know those two things and you told me the dying one, I wouldn't even mind the shadow selves.
I mean, what's a tougher one to handle is like we're all gonna die. I mean, it's easy to say, maybe harder to ingest, or everything you hate in the world is really just yourself.
True.
Okay. What
Okay.
about Henry Lopez, who says, "You're fucked"?
That's right.
More succinct.
That's right. Nobody is saying anything about adult babies and wearing diapers, but if someone says
in the Hard Dark
Dumbledore
Truth?
dies. Yeah, there's none about that.
Spoilers for Dumbledore today.
Dumbledore
this week.
dies.
Sorry to
This
all
is
the
what someone
listeners
wrote.
who are catching up on those.
This is from January 15th, that answer.
Of 2024.
I'm gonna upvote that.
Timely reference there.
Yeah, those are pretty much all of them. We're all gonna die and you hate yourself. One person says, which truth are you referring to?
Okay. Which again, the question
Clarification's
is, can you tell me the hard, dark truths? So as long as you've answered anything, you win.
Anthony Johnson says, no way in hell will you get away with what you have done and continue doing. Fuck.
I'm getting nervous.
now, what if those two people do actually know each other? Wonder if this is like an I know what you did last summer situation.
Oh man, that would be such a fucking shitty version of that movie if it took place on Quora.com.
I was about to say, if you were the guy who did the bad thing last summer, you shouldn't go on Quora and say, "Can you tell me hard, dark truths?" You're really walking into it there.
Am I going to go to jail?
Or just like, every place that you post, you have that your I know what you did last summer style stalker replying to that, where it's like, you're on Yelp for a local, haircut place, or being
Pizzeria.
like, hey, are you guys really don't open until 11 on Saturdays? And somebody just responds to that, you're never going to get away with what you've done.
And continue doing.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop. And just like all things, this podcast has to stop.
That's
As we
right.
move to our final segment, asking a question for next week. What do we got?
Do you have any questions you want to ask Chris for Quora?
Oh
Otherwise,
God,
we
I felt
can
like
come
I
up with one.
had one earlier that I lost.
Oh, right.
This is too much like I already referenced it. The is Wario libertarian, but when you played that Wario drop, I was going to be like, what? I was going to ask, what religious makeup or what religious background is Wario?
Okay, yeah.
That they
Or
may
something
know
like that.
you're
What
the
is it?
editor of Hard Drive magazine if you ask that question, but you should do it anyway.
What is...
Okay, Jeremy's typing that up. We're going to go ahead and move on here. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the Quorators podcast, number 1 home of Quora Season 3, A New Beginning. Where can our listeners find you at home and abroad?
Let's see. I produce a podcast called Chapo Trap House. You can find that wherever you get podcasts. I guess the big thing to pitch right now is that we recently finished posting all of a history series about U.S. presidents that I did a few years ago, but used to live on Stitcher. We brought that back to the Patreon. So now the entirety of Hell of Presidents and Hell on Earth 2 history series I did with Matt Chrisman are all on the Patreon. And you can also just buy those and download them. It's not a really good system, but you can just like get a zip file full of MP3s if you don't want to subscribe and just get those. Or you could subscribe and just listen to all of those. And I also do several podcasts with my wonderful wife, Molly. We do a show called And Introducing, which is about music and musicians. And we have more episodes of that scheduled to record and coming out soon. And we do a semi-weekly show called Infinite Cast, where we read books to each other. And right now we are on Inherent Vice. After we read the entirety of Infinite Jest to each other over the course of like the 3 main pandemic years.
How long did that take? 3 years?
Yes, it's like 100. We did it pretty much weekly for 125 episodes, so like 2.5 years, basically.
That's like a never-ending book report. It just keeps going.
It is. I mean, the joke of it was that people kept getting mad about Infinite Jest on online of it being like a bro book or whatever, and Molly was the one who had already read it twice and loved it, and I'd never read it before. So the joke of the show is she was going to read it to me, and we'll figure out if it's good for bros or not. And yeah, every episode she just like reads 10 pages, and then we talk about it. It's called Inherent Cast, and that's available everywhere. I think that's all the podcasts I produce. Check any of them out, or don't, whatever. Listen to more other podcasts.
We can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Although I've heard all of Hell of Presidents and all of these things, and I love
think
them.
that
So go see those.
I got it through Stitcher, which now Stitcher has ended, but Stitcher was so broken back then that they just like gave me a lifetime of Stitcher Premium, and it never went away. And it was like, I don't even know how I could get rid of it if I wanted to.
They nerfed Stitcher. Stitcher is no longer broken.
Yes. Well, look, I will always be grateful for Stitcher for giving me some money to give me an excuse to actually make that series, but I'm very glad to have it back on the Patreon, and I think it's a much easier way to actually listen to it.
Right.
So
it's a good podcast.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us this week. We have bonus episodes every Thursday on patreon.com/Quorators. All kinds of exciting stuff coming up there. Sometimes we just read the dang news.
That's right.
And again, thanks to Chris. We'll see you on what do we say at the end of this podcast?
Question everything.
That's it.